Hi again, Becca Fox with another excerpt for you, this time from my young adult romance novel, I Dare You to Stay With Me. This is the sequel to I Dare You to Love Me, so if you haven't read that book yet, you might be a little lost, but hopefully you can enjoy it anyway. This was published by Amazon. Chapter 1. Brian. My phone buzzed at 5 in the morning. Get up, get up, get up, Iris's voice sang, first in her natural soprano, then in a lower alto, and lastly in her impersonation of a baritone. I smiled into my pillow. Get up, get up, get up. Reaching toward my bedside table, I swiped a finger across the phone screen and silenced the alarm. Hey, she chirped 5 minutes later. I'm going out to run. Are you coming or not? Not, I mumbled, shutting off this second alarm. Brian. I sighed and pried my eyes open, upsetting flicks of sleep that had glued them closed. 3 years together, and she could still get me just by saying my name. Come on, lazy bones, she said. This is the third alarm. You know I'm already out the door. I sat up and threw my legs over the side of the bed. You slept in, Iris accused. I jogged down the porch steps, adjusting the Bluetooth earpiece in my ear. My class on modern architecture let out late last night, so I got home later than usual, I finished my homework later than usual, and I fell asleep later than usual. She chuckled. And now you know what it's like to be me. I crinkled my nose at nobody in particular. I just love that new personalized alarm app you got me for my birthday, by the way. What, you don't like waking up to my voice every morning? I didn't have to answer because we both knew what I was going to say. I loved hearing her voice in the morning, no matter how obnoxious she tried to be. Bring me up to speed on your yesterday, I said instead. She did so while I stretched on the sidewalk. Amy brought an injured bird home. Again, I swear she has radar for creatures in distress. I've never heard of another kid bringing home as many critters as she does. I grinned. Her annoyance was fake. I knew how proud she was of her little sister. She's going to make a great veterinarian someday, I said, what with all the practical experience she's getting. The elderly neighbor who walked his dog every morning waved as he strolled by on the other side of the street. I returned the greeting. Yeah, well, she keeps using empty food boxes as beds for her pets. I could hear the crashing of waves on her end and her running shoes beating against the sand. She barely gasped as she spoke. Sophie reached into the Ritz box on the coffee table, thinking she was getting a cracker. She screamed so loud when she realized there was a recovering swallow sleeping in there. Snickering, I started to jog. That's awesome. I'll have to try that on Leah next time I'm in West Palm Beach. Aren't you coming the day after tomorrow? Iris asked with a note of panic. I thought it was your turn to come to Miami this weekend, I said. There was a pause on the other end. The wind whistled in my ear, competing with the sounds of the ocean. Man, I missed living on the beach. I looked around at the neighborhood of small, older houses with washed-out fences, green peach fuzz for grass, and stooped palm trees, and the narrow street cutting through it all. But I couldn't be too depressed about my living situation. This was heaven compared to living on campus. After 2 years of being stuck in a dormitory the size of my closet with 3 other guys, I'd been ready to quit school. Thankfully, Gabriel finished his art program a year ago and got a job at the Museum of Contemporary Art, otherwise known as the MoCA, here in Miami. He moved into a small 3-bedroom house with a friend from high school and looked me up to see if I wanted to fill that 3rd room. So now I was living in Hialeah, 30 minutes from the University of Miami and 35 minutes from Nelson Colby Architecture, Inc., where I was interning. I had it pretty good now, even if I was nowhere near the beach. I already promised Rachel she could use my Mustang on Friday. Apparently she's got another date with the guy who doesn't have a car, Iris grumbled. She's still seeing that guy and he hasn't introduced him to the family yet? She claims she doesn't want to scare him away, but I think she's just not sure about him yet, Iris said. I could take off early Saturday morning and wait around your house until you're done with class, but I have to be back in West Palm Beach by Sunday afternoon. Tristan's got a ball game and he's pretty sure his coach is going to let him play this time. I can't miss that, I said, jogging in place at a stoplight. Maybe I can come over this weekend. Check your day planner and get back to me, she said with an audible smirk. The crosswalk light blinked at me, and I proceeded to jog across the street. Hey, don't knock the planner. I wouldn't remember anything without that thing. Uh-huh. So, you were telling me about your yesterday. Right. Iris took a moment to regulate her breathing. In through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. I mimicked her while she collected her thoughts. The new bass guitarist showed up to practice without his guitar again. I'm going to kick him out of the band tomorrow. 2 female cyclists were coming at me, so I moved over to give them plenty of room. What? No, I like Kenny. He doesn't take band practice seriously, Iris said, and I could almost hear her scowling. I've talked to him about it, but he's still not making much of an effort to learn the songs. He messes up when we're on stage and then acts like it's no big deal. People are going to start thinking we're amateurs, and amateurs don't get record deals. And that was an excerpt from I Dare You to Stay With Me.